Okay, so we've created a planar projection, and if you have a look at the texture on the object, it's all messed up. The reason for that is we are now projecting the texture on the object from this angle, from the x-axis, instead of the y-axis, which we want. We can actually fix that with the projection manipulator. So if you just zoom in on it, you'll see you get scale handles, and you can drag them. And this will change the sizing of the UVs, which then changes the sizing and placement of the image on the object. Now, the first thing we need to do is rotate that projection. To do that, you'll notice in your projection manipulator this little red T. Click it, and then you'll see a rotate icon, which is the blue circle, and click the line of the circle, and you'll get a rotation manipulator, just like your E shortcut. So we want to rotate it that way, so the projection is coming down in the y-axis. Now that's slightly off. I'm just going to go over to the attribute editor and enter in the value I want, which is 90. So now the texture is projecting from the y-axis, but it's repeating itself. And in this case, we don't want repetition. So I'm just going to click the T again and open the scale manipulator. I'm just going to scale that texture across the object until it stops repeating. Okay. And I'm just dragging from the center to move the texture across the object. Okay, done. Now that I've projected and edited the projection, I can click off. Okay, I'm going to do one more using a different projection method. So I'm going to select the wall. I'm going to drop a file into the color channel. Click on File. Just use the same file for the moment. And I'm just going to mess up those UVs quickly just so I can... Okay. So now I've got an object with an image mapped to its color channel, and you can see the UVs are wrong. We need to project from this axis. So looking at the manipulator down in the axis icon, bottom left of your viewport, you'll see that the direction we want to hit it from is the Z axis. A quick way to do this is to look at the object through a camera directly from that axis. So let's have a look. So there's my wall there, and the front view is direct. So let's maximize the front camera. So now we're looking straight at it. And with that viewport selected, I'm just going to go create UVs and create UVs based on camera. So that's fixed it with 2 clicks, just using a based on camera projection. So go through and texture your objects using images. Have a play with the different create UV projection tools, and resize and rotate them to fit your texturing needs. Okay, with that done, we're going to texture the bars. Just going to turn my resolution gate off. Give myself a bit more screen real estate. We're going to texture the bars, but we're not going to use an image map. We're going to use a procedural texture. So rather than using images to control the various attributes of the blend shader, we're going to use procedural methods in Maya. So firstly, let's edit the color a little bit. Just going to quickly assign one of my existing materials. Let's go wall. And select the bars. So in the attribute editor, I'm just going to bring the color right down. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a blue hue. That's way too much. I'm just using the sliders to try and get a bit of a metallic look to the color channel. Just going to do a quick test render. Okay, color's not too bad. Now I'm going to add some texture to the surface of the object using the bump channel. So with the object selected, I'm going to go to bump mapping, click on the checkerboard. And this time I'm not going to select a file. I'm going to select a noise texture. Now that's way too intense. Let's just drop the bump depth down in the attribute editor. I've gone to 0.1. Okay, the next thing, those bumps are huge. That's not the look I'm after. So I've just clicked off the object. I'm going to go back in and edit the noise texture that's controlling the bump channel. So select the object, go to bump mapping, click the arrow, and there's my noise channel. So I'm going to change the frequency. That's to 100. So I've changed my frequency to 250 and I'm going to do a test render. It's not too bad, a little bit of a wrought iron look. Have a play with the noise parameters until you get the effect you're after. I still think the bump itself is too deep, so I'm going to just click on that arrow again. I'm going to use these back and forward arrows to move through the currently connected nodes, and I want the bump depth. I'm going to go 0.05 and do a test render. Okay, that's okay for the moment. The next thing I'm going to do is, this is a blend shader, so it's got that shininess and that specularity to it. I'm going to actually add another texture to control the flow of the specularity. So with the object selected, I'm going to go to the specular color, click the checkerboard. I'm going to create a ramp texture. So click on ramp. And this is a colored ramp. This is actually adding color to the object. Let's just go ahead and change this to black and white. So you'll see there's 3 colors that run through the ramp itself. Let's change that, each color, to black and white. So click on a little circle to get the selected color, and you can change the color there. Let's go black. Alright. If you drag those handles, you can actually watch the shininess, the specularity affected in the viewport. You'll only see that if you've got high quality rendering turned on. So I don't want that shininess across the whole area of the geometry. I just want a small region. So what I've done there is I've faked specularity. Okay, do a test render. Good, that's pretty good for the moment. Alright, next. Lights. We've got this scene empty of lights. The only reason you can actually see anything is because when you open a new scene file, Maya automatically assigns a default light. As soon as you create your own light, the default light automatically is turned off. So let's create some lights. So just in the create panel, I'm going to start with the ambient light, and this light is just a general ambient light that comes from every direction. So make sure you turn the lights on in your viewport. Click 7. That's really bright. So I'm just going to go with my light selected, go to my attribute editor and drop the intensity. Do a test render. Okay, now I've got a fairly dim Maya scene. Now I'm just going to add some area lights. These are lights that emit from a direction and from a specified area. So go create, lights, area light. And make sure high quality rendering is turned on as well so you get better feedback. So this is my first area light. Just going to angle it down a bit and drop its intensity to about 0.6. I'm just going to duplicate that light by hitting Control D or Command D. And I'm going to make this second one a much lower intensity. So I'm just making a really basic 3-point lighting setup, and I suggest you do a little bit of Googling into 3-point setups. Let's have a look now. And do a test render. Right, you can go through and add your own lights and get a bit more control into the scene. Okay, the final thing I'm going to show you today is just how to create an artificial sun and sky. So open your render settings, and this is only available in Mental Ray, not the My Software Renderer. Go across to the Indirect Lighting tab, hit Environment, Physical Sun and Sky, hit Create, and you'll get a intensity multiplier pop up in your attribute editor. Just back that off a bit, maybe 0.35, and just do a test render. Now this is going to take a lot longer to render. Okay, so at the moment what you can see is the polygons there and there aren't intersecting. So there's a little bit of light coming through that corner. I'll have to go through and fix that. Secondly, that horizon is visible through the window. Now I can lower that horizon height. The easiest way to get back to your attributes for your physical sky is to go back to render settings, go to indirect lighting, and this time just click the arrow and it'll pop up in the attribute editor. So if you move down the attribute editor, you've got a horizon height of 0. Just put a negative value in there and do a test render. Good, okay. One thing I'm going to mention is when you use the physical sun and sky, your textures will get washed out. I'm going to teach you how to fix that first thing next week. Basically what we need to do is add a gamma correction node to the color channel, to the file that's plugged into the color channel of the blend shader. And that's it for today.